Good afternoon, everyone. X-Flare was inbound. The forecast, 70 centimeters cubed plasma density and 800 kilometers per second. Solar wind speed, max plasma density around 40. Wind speed barely touching 450. A sweep entirely clean of all particles after the CME passed. Speaking of forecasts, why is U.S. wheat year-to-date down 22% for exports? Oh, maybe it's because spring wheat from 500 to 1060 in less than a year. Lowest soft white wheat since 1966. Durum slashed in half. And the wild card for everybody, taxes on food for imports. How will this rock social stability? Economists and Wall Street are sounding the alarm. Investors are ignoring the parallels between 1929, 99, 2007, and today. We are absolutely in the everything bubble, and investors are now betting on the Fed, threatening to raise rates 6 to 7 times through 2024. If the debt ceiling is raised, there will be an economic catastrophe. Learn how simple it is to add physical gold and silver to your portfolio ahead of the rise in inflation and predicted price rises. Patriot Gold Group has the no fee for life IRA, where your IRA or 401k can be in physical gold and silver, and you may be eligible for the no fee for life IRA. Call 1-800-356-4470 and get a free investor guide today. And with the knowledge that Patriot Gold Group is Consumer Affairs' top-rated gold IRA dealer from 2016 to present, click on the link in the description box below for more information. And now on with the video. And all eyes were on this X-Flare inbound on the 30th and 31st. So how did NOAA and NASA do with their Space Weather Prediction Center and space weather forecasts? Here it is for you. The prediction was a spike to between 60 and 70 centimeters cubed for the plasma density and around 800 kilometers per second on the solar wind. All the spiral models showing the same. These images are from swpc.noaa.gov. I linked that below so you can follow the same information and zoom in on it. Max plasma density creeping up around 40, and the solar wind speed went up to around 450. Now what's interesting is after this event passed Earth, everything was swept clean, just like an intense thunderstorm and rain front. It takes all the dust out of the air. Very similar. Look, it went to below to absolutely no solar particles coming in whatsoever, and you can see that giant dip and then a rebound. Like I say, solar wind 450, 470 max, and looking in at the plasma density here, this is off of ACE, and what you will notice is there are two tiny bumps of dot in that black there that are pretty close to 70, but it wasn't for the duration. If it was a flash in time of the outlier, like those maximum gust winds that you would have seen in a cyclone or a hurricane, peaked twice there. KP index was forecast to maybe touch around 6 to 7. It only maxed out at 4. And what's interesting, too, digging into the wind speed and density, came across the day's drawings with the sunspots. Solar synoptic. All that's linked in the description box below so you can chase all the real-time analysis of solar wind, etc. So if we do have another X-Flare, you'll know where to go. Speaking of forecasts, global wheat production, global wheat pricing. Now you see the circles on there, that's declines in Canada and the United States, just as a general sense. And if we look up at Russia as well, down. EU, I just am baffled how that number could be up when their exports are so far down. The rains came in, Germany was hit, Poland hit, and so many other places that are producing wheat. I don't know, that may have to be updated after this estimate here for 2021 and 22. And if we're looking at real signs on the ground of change, this is the current market year for sales of wheat outbound to other nations that are buying for imports. So we'll take a look at China, up 80% from prior year. But if we go down and you come to the very bottom where it says all wheat sales total, it's down 22%. And you have to ask yourself, why is that? Because so many nations across the planet, food prices increasing everywhere. You think they'd buy it, import it, and try to keep the cost down for citizens so there wouldn't be social unrest. But what is causing this decline in exports? Well, the rising prices, trajectory of everything upward, soft and winter wheat both up. $6.50 to $10.50. The prices in your supermarkets are about to rise. Hard red wheat here, increasing prices. And this trend is going to continue here. So if it rose from $5.50 to, say, $7.25 over the year, then the cost associated with delivery for that also increasing at the same margin there. Where do you think we're going in October to 2022? I feel we're going to continue to go up. All the research shows that yields are going to be worse next year, plus all the labor shortages, fertilizer shortages, farm machinery repair shortages, tires, for example. It's just I can't envision anything increasing in production next year. Decreases, yes, but increases, no. And then you're adding on the ocean freight, the indices here, 400 to 600 on the general index. But I like the way that they broke it down just for grain freight. You know, rail can do the same. So if you're looking at rail rates or ocean freight rates, going from about 325 up to 550, tapering off a bit. But you see, everything in the entire chain is going to cost more. Now, reverse that and bring fertilizer out to these farming areas, and there's going to be increases in that too for delivery. Plus the production, plus the ammonia, plus the nitrogen, and all these different things that aren't there. How about natural gas? Oh, it's lacking. Propane, going to cost more too. So the spring wheat December 2021 delivery, wait a second, did that go from $500 to $1,060 over a year and a few months? I do believe it did. Now, what if it goes from $1,060 to $2,060? How do you think your food pricing is going to be affected by that? Jumping over to Durum wheat, we'll see the same. January 2021, and it was only $600. Now we're up to $1,528. That would explain why people aren't buying. It just costs so much that they can't afford it either in importing nations. Now, the soft white wheat crop, this is from U.S. Wheat Associates. You can sign up for their newsletter, which I do. 4.3 million metric tons, the lowest since 1966. And you're seeing this consistently across the planet. This will bring us up to the Durum wheat, which all indications show that there's going to be a Durum wheat shortage globally. Not enough of this product right now to fulfill the needs of even 60% of all producers for things used Durum. Think pastas, think crusts, shortages. 2021 on the left, 2020 in the center, and then we'll look at the 5-year average on the right side. Total U.S. Durum production, bottom line there. 2021, 1 million metric tons. Last year it was 1.9. 5-year average, 1.6. And this is just one amongst a myriad of countries reporting the exact same phenomena. Soft white, 2021, again, we'll bring it to the U.S. totals there, 4.8 million metric tons. 2020, 7.6. That's a significant slash. Even the 5-year average at 6.3 million metric tons, down. So everywhere you're looking, these prices are rising for the very base constituents for everything you're purchasing onward, unless you're grinding that yourself and making your bread at home. If you're buying anything in the supermarket, that is definitely going to increase in the price for you. Now here's the wild card that's going to be affecting almost every country. These import taxes on produce and oils, foodstuffs, meat, etc. Now Pakistan backtracking on the palm oil reduction of import taxes. So they were going to cut that from 17% down to 8.5% and try to keep a few more people off the streets, but somebody balked on that, and they must need the money, and they're willing to deal with the unrest for something as simple as cooking oil, which is way more common than you think. People coming to the streets just for the cooking oil prices rising. India we saw with onion prices rising. So there's an enormous amount of stories over the last 2 years specifically when something rises in price that's the base for getting food on your table. People get angry real fast. Because Pakistan, they're already spending about 45% of every single dollar made in income for a family on food. It's one of the highest in the world. It's 45% of everything they make each month goes to food costs. Where in America, it's 6 to 10%, and that's going to rise a little bit, probably 11, 12 by the end of the year, but it's some of the lowest in the world comparatively to other places. So you can see why inflation is running through the news headlines everywhere, including fuels, food, goods, transportation. It's all here. It's hitting, and these prices are just going to continue upward. Is your salary? Not sure. But if you are going to purchase food right now, think about storable foods. 25-year shelf life. My Patriot Supply and Adapt 2030. You're buying this right now. It's going to be far cheaper than if you get it next year. That's just across the board for everything. So get what you can now. Go to the stores. Go to your farm co-op. Get the bags of seed. Get the fertilizer because it's going to be unavailable or extremely pricey. Just coming in Q1 of 2022. I do thank you for watching. Hope you got something out of the video, and I'll see you next time.